Sweet Jesus. What was that? What the? Boston got shut out by the Brooklyn Nets, now leading up 2-0 in the series currently. Yes, we are after the play-in tournament. I wanted to do this a bit earlier over in Game 1, but I kind of knew that this is going to be a one-sided Game 5 sweep fest because let's just get it out of our hands. Boston has been a complete wreck over most of the season, bro. I mean, I've seen inconsistent basketball over high-rated teams, and the majority of the conversation over the Eastern Conference either came in the Sixers as prodigal contenders or Boston trying to clean up, and now they're 2-0 in the series, again losing off double digits, this time off 22 points. KD came with what, 26 points? Joe Harris led a 4-6-0 run with a turnover. Blake Griffin came over with 11 points. Joe Harris, 25 off 64%. That's at least the second highest field goal percentage in the game. And he hit seven three-pointers. 7. They went 71 points before halftime. Brooklyn manhandled, ripped apart, and destroyed Boston here on Game 2. And yeah, that's put aside over that it was also a home court advantage. Your early stints into the series, but you know this is your second go around, and usually gives you a simulate like game plan strategy whenever you're facing off against a team for the second or third time, and this is the best. And this is the best of many games before probably you get eliminated. So it's either you have to pick up and pick up quick. Bro, Shemet, Nicholas Claxton, even though I thought he wasn't doing much. He could barely finish off the score. He got blocked once. He did pick up a block earlier, but he just feels like he's just barely any piece into the offense. I know they're using him over because he's a young athletic big, but he got 17 minutes and all he can accumulate is 3 rebounds and 1 block. I mean, at least he's setting up for the offense. He seems to be setting up for the defense, and he does well to finish over the paint. That should be more useful. DeAndre Jordan, of course, we know that Spencer Dinwiddie and Chiazza is not able to play, but besides the point, by God, Joe Harris, as well as KD, were just mopping the floor over on offense. I don't think it took him a while until the second half, where he was just mid-range 2, fadeaway 2. Who did I have on defense? Evan Fournier, Langford, Nesmith, Grant Williams. It was just a mishmash of mismatches. And that's the only time I'm ever going to use that in my vocabulary. I've seen many like meshes over on defense, and it's just inbound ball, perimeter, pick screen up for Kemba to move out over the offense and just let Jason Tatum do his thing. The guy only scored 9 points. He finished around the paint for the bare minimum. Poor guy went for 25%. He was the most useless on the offense, and he went over for 21 minutes. The most I was getting stuff done was Tristan Thompson. He was moving over the paint. He was creating offense. That footwork was doing pretty decent. He was grabbing some average rebounds. He went for a double-double. Evan Fournier, he went for 16, but guy could have played better. I was expecting a lot over the implosion of trades and tossaways Orlando made over earlier this season. I thought it would be. He was like the prime game winner for most of the Orlando games, and He didn't spread out over the floor. He was a decent dribbler over the ball to create his own shot, but we know Evan Fournier is better off just being his own spot up shooter over a core offense. That I just feel like Kemba Walker isn't the type of guy to go because they got no guy patrolling the floor. Sure, Marcus Smart is all right, and he did play pretty good. And he scored the highest. Oh, by the way, like for most of the starting lineup for the Celtics, nobody went above 25 points. Like it was hard to portray that. Our highest score, our prime young all-star that's been given a max contract, is underperforming this much, coming over most of the game, accumulating a total of 35 points going into the third quarter. Brook, Brooklyn mopped the floor. 40 points. It was already a 20 point and near 24 point decimal going into the freaking second quarter until they made it up to 71. I mean, there was barely anything to speak of. They're already like 8 assists ahead coming into the second quarter. It was just hard to watch Boston just be piss poor and know that they can't stop anybody post because Marcus Smart isn't that big on defense. Kemba Walker is always going to get mismatched, and most of their depth is a bunch of first to second round picks. Most guys can't create their own plays. They have to rely on dribble, back step, three pointer, mid corner, spit it like Jason Tatum has to risk it. Tristan can just force himself over for the offense. And they don't have Venus Cancer anymore, so that's already a loss over in the big territory. Literally, what part of this is going to officiate any semblance of moving out the ball? They already got themselves over a corner. I would say Taco Fall needs to get over to the lineup. Taco Fall's an oversized guy that can't make much of offense. All he's going to be good for is a couple layups. He was a memeable player in his rookie year. That was technically it. I would say force Robert Williams in the four, so Tatum can go over to his forward position because Marcus Smart, he's good, but he's just over in that depth piece role because I feel like that's like the subsequent reason why like they're not doing well over the rebounding portion of the game. They were trying so hard to spread out the floor so they can play more offensively that it bit them up the ass because Brooklyn, even if they lost two players, they were still better than them. And that's the thing. They're better than them. Blake Griffin moving out the ball, hitting one-on-one dunks, just easy to spread out that paint, just hitting 11 points, doing all right from the three. No, I'm kidding. He didn't score a three-pointer, but he was still a sensational part of the offense, spreading over that fast break and scoring some good shots in the paint. And Jeff Green got over a foul. The bench was just doing their best defensively, finishing over the ball. Kyrie just kept trying to like sauce his way over to the offense, dribble, outside dribble. Sometimes he'll pass over to the outside. Harden, 20 points, stepping out three. Like the second half, it was just him moving out the ball and he was just passing like nonchalantly. This felt like a regular season blowout game. Boston needs to clean this stuff up if any semblance of them wants to try to like make this at least a passable series or at least to a game six. That's at least acceptable if you're like going to lose to Brooklyn. And I understand many people have anticipation for Brooklyn to even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals to begin with. But man, what a what a slap! And Boston kind of brought themselves over to a corner being 7th seed because now you have no chance to even thinking that you're going to be leading over to the playoffs. So, yeah, that's practically it. I would say in five. They can close over probably in a game winner. That's the most I ever see out of Boston. And I don't like saying that because I did have my anticipation over Boston because of the potential talent, but most of them just spread over and leave. And it's just tough having no other offensive options, especially with Jaylen Brown off the wazoo, Jason Tatum underperforming, and just just recycling over bench players and not any legitimized depth. Joe Harris just dropped 25 on everybody's head. And that's a given. Joe Harris is a good player. But over the depth piece of a guy like Joe Harris that's just stopping shot and decent on perimeter D, he shouldn't be able to like score on everybody's face. It's his dribble out and he'll shoot a three on everybody's face. The guy like just decimated Boston last night. But yeah, that's it coming from the talk here on the DST Nation. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the content. And that takes a subscription that I bet you guys already know that. So I'm not going to tell you to like, comment, subscribe, because I know YouTube has been here for quite a long time. That even the children that bad parents give them phones already can know the mechanics and the kinks of all that stuff. So that's all you got to do. Subscribe. Thanks for giving me your time.